Alaska, a land of stunning beauty, untouched by human hands, where nature reigns supreme and solitude becomes a way of life. For Tim, a wildlife photographer, his cabin wasn't just a refuge. It was a gateway to the wild, a place where nature remained untouched by human hands. Tim lived surrounded by towering mountains, thick forests, and miles of untouched wilderness. Yet, one fateful morning, his peaceful existence would be disrupted by an extraordinary encounter. Tim was no stranger to the sounds of the Alaskan wilderness, the rustling trees, the calls of birds, the occasional scurrying of small animals, all part of the rhythm of his life. But one morning, as the first rays of sunlight filtered through the trees, Tim was jolted awake by an unfamiliar sound, a scratching at his front door. Living so close to nature, it was common to have wild animals roam near his cabin. Bears often wandered through, drawn by the scent of food or curiosity. At first, Tim thought it might be one of these frequent visitors, but as he peered through the window, his eyes widened in disbelief. It wasn't a bear or a fox, but something far rarer, a lone lynx kitten. Lynxes, elusive by nature, avoid humans and hunt primarily at night. Their sightings are few and far between. But here, on Tim's doorstep, was a tiny kitten, scratching as if searching for help. Tim couldn't believe his eyes. As a wildlife photographer, he knew this was a rare opportunity, but his instincts urged him to be cautious. The kitten seemed lost, perhaps hungry or separated from its family. Tim, always respectful of nature, opened the door slowly and placed some food on the ground. The kitten approached cautiously, its tiny body trembling with hunger. It devoured the food without hesitation and, after a brief glance at Tim, scampered off into the woods as quickly as it had appeared. Tim stood there, stunned. He had always hoped to catch a glimpse of a lynx, but he never imagined one would come right to his door. The next morning, Tim woke to a strange feeling, a sense that something was about to unfold. He walked to the window and his heart skipped a beat. On his porch was not just the lynx kitten, but an entire family. 7 lynxes in total, 6 playful kittens and their watchful mother. The mother lynx sat calmly, her eyes scanning the surroundings as her cubs frolicked about, pouncing and tumbling as if practicing their hunting skills. It was a rare sight, one that few people would ever witness, let alone capture so closely. Tim's hands trembled as he grabbed his camera, snapping photos of the kittens, their fur gleaming in the morning light, their energy contagious. This wasn't just about taking perfect shots. It was a fleeting moment to witness something truly wild, an untouched connection between nature and photographer. The mother lynx, ever vigilant, allowed Tim to observe this private moment with the understanding that he meant no harm. As the sun rose higher, the lynx family slowly retreated into the woods, disappearing into the underbrush, leaving Tim with a sense of awe and gratitude. He stood on his porch, feeling the quiet once again settle around him. The images he had captured would forever remind him of the beauty that exists just beyond human reach. Later, as Tim sat reviewing the photos, he reflected on the deeper connection he felt to the wild. It wasn't just about witnessing the lynx family up close. It was about understanding the importance of preserving the untamed world they inhabited. These animals were not pets. They weren't meant to be domesticated. Their lives were meant to remain free, roaming the Alaskan wilderness, untouched by human influence. Tim knew the lynxes weren't meant to stay. Their visit was a brief chapter in his life, a rare glimpse into a world that many would never experience. But that short visit left him with a lasting reminder: nature, in all its rawness and beauty, is fragile and must remain undisturbed. The days passed quietly, and though Tim hoped the lynx family would return, they didn't. But he was at peace with that. The memory of their brief visit, the sound of the kitten's playful antics, and the mother's watchful eyes stayed with him. Tim knew that the lynx family was out there somewhere, living their lives in the vast wilderness as they should. His encounter with them had reaffirmed his belief in the delicate balance between humans and the wild. As a wildlife photographer, he had always respected the wild, but witnessing this firsthand had deepened his understanding. Tim's encounter was a rare gift, one that reminded him of the fragile beauty of the world outside. Alaska, with its vast national parks and pristine wilderness, is home to many animals like the lynx, thriving in their natural habitats. While Tim's moment with the Lynx family was extraordinary, it also reminded him of the preciousness of nature's wilderness and how important it is to protect it for generations to come. As he looked out at the surrounding woods, Tim felt a profound sense of gratitude. His brief encounter with the lynxes was more than just a story to tell. It was a reminder that the wild is always close, just waiting for those lucky enough to experience its wonders.